Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a cream foundation routine for super hydrated, fresh, radiant, glowy skin. This is the first time in a really long time that I've actually liked my face makeup. You guys know I've been in a makeup rut, so I think this routine will work for a lot of different skin types, whether you're dry, oily, combination, normal. I've really tried to accommodate every skin type. If you're more oily, you can apply more powders. If you're more dry, just apply less powders. I mean, it's very customizable. If you guys want to see how to get this really pretty, hydrated, fresh, and glowy makeup routine, then please keep watching. I literally picked the worst time to do a face routine. Look how good my skin's looking, guys. It looks so good. So this season has been a wonderful season for me. It's been the season of dry patches and dry, scaly, flaking skin. And on top of that, my skin has been breaking out like a freaking mofo. So before we get into the actual routine, I want to go over a couple of little skincare tricks I've been doing lately. There have been a couple of products I've been incorporating into my skincare routine to accommodate the dry skin and also the acne. So the one thing that has helped my dry, flaky, scaly looking skin is this pure glycerin. I got this at CVS a couple of years ago and it's actually not expired, which is pretty awesome. This has done wonders. Glycerin is the ingredient that's in pretty much every primer, setting sprays, moisturizers, oils. I mean, it's pretty much in every skincare related product. But since I started using this, I have no dry areas, no dry patches, no flakage. So I have been using this at night. Sometimes I put it on by itself, sometimes I mix it in with other products, but I will say this does have a very thick and heavy feeling on your skin. It does feel very tacky, which is the reason I feel like it's in primers, but it does absorb eventually. So if you have super oily skin, then you probably won't like the way it feels. And when I wake up in the morning, my skin looks and feels so hydrated. It doesn't feel sticky anymore, but my skin just looks so soft and supple and plump. And then just another little quick tip in case you are dealing with acne like me. I've been using straight up tea tree oil. This is just 100% pure tea tree oil. I got this at Walmart. I've been using this as like a spot treatment. I just want to mention this real quick in case you're dealing with dry skin and acne. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the routine. So the first thing you're gonna need is a moisturizer. I'm not really loyal to anything, to be honest. I jump back and forth all the time, but right now I'm using the 40 Carats Carrot and Mango Moisture Splurge Moisturizer. This is actually from TJ Maxx. It was under $7 or $8. Moisturizers are extremely important no matter what kind of skin you have. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply that. Okay, I try to be cute and wear earrings, but that's not gonna work. The next thing I'm gonna do is go in with an illuminating primer. You don't have to use this. You can use any primer you want, but I just feel like this just kind of kicks it up a little bit and just gives a nice base for that illumination. So I'm using the Milani Prime Light Strobing and Pore Minimizing Face Primer. I've really been enjoying this lately. I don't find that it makes my skin look oily or anything. It really does keep everything on longer, and it just provides me with a really nice glowy base. So the next thing I'm gonna do is something that is completely optional. It really doesn't have anything to do with a dewy, glowy foundation routine. It's just kind of a product that I just now discovered that works extremely well and just makes my skin look better. This is the Amazing Cosmetics Line Smoother and Primer. So here's what that looks like. This was actually sent to me. I'm not paid or affiliated or sponsored though. Then I've been using this as like an under eye primer, but this plumps my under eye area and makes it look so much younger. It does fill in the lines a little bit, but it more or less just like plumps my under eye area and just makes me look completely different. So it just comes with this little roller ball thing. So I'm just gonna roll this under my eye. It kind of softens and blurs. I swear it sounds like I'm a freaking infomercial, but I promise I'm not paid or anything to talk about this. So the next thing I do is another step that's optional depending on how dry your skin is. If you really want to boost that dewiness and glowiness and that really glossy effect, then you can do this. But if you don't want to, if you just want to keep it kind of toned down, then don't do this step. So I'm gonna go in with a cream or liquid highlighter now and just kind of touch the high points in my face. I've been using the Essence So Glow Cream to Powder Highlighter in the shade Look on the Bright Side. I like this highlighter because you can wear this under your foundation and it doesn't make your foundation look oily or shiny. I'm just gonna take this on my finger, and this is a really nice like whitish gold shade. And I'm just gonna pop this right on my cheekbones and kind of all over my cheek area just to really boost that luminosity. As you can see, it just gives you a really nice glow. I'm also gonna put some on my Cupid's bow, and then if you want to, you can put some right above your eyebrow, just so that when your head turns, it kind of like, oh my god, I am looking like a freaking oil slick right now because the lights are making me sweat. It's getting really hot. Woo! So I'm gonna go in with a sponge and just kind of dab all that in, just because I feel like I applied a lot. So the next thing we're gonna do is go in with foundation. So this is gonna be all personal preference. You can use whatever foundation works best for you. But if you just wanna stick with your radiance and glowiness coming from your primer or like your highlighting products on top of your foundation, then use a more like satin or matte finish and just build up those highlighting products. What I like to do is actually mix a couple of foundations to make the perfect combination for me. So I've been mixing the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless and the Maybelline Dewy and Smooth. So I feel like this just kind of gives you the best of both worlds. You're not super mattified, but you're also not super dewy or glowy. So I just feel like this is a really good happy medium. I'm not gonna lie, there's not a shade in the Fit Me line that matches me perfectly, so I do mix a couple of shades, but even then, they don't really match me perfectly. So in the Dewy and Smooth foundation, I have 120 Classic Ivory, which is closer to my skin tone, and then in Matte and Poreless, I have 128 Warm Nude, which is an amazing warm yellow undertone shade. Doesn't match me at all, but I actually like to mix these two together just to warm up my complexion. So I'm gonna do a little bit of Dewy and Smooth, or a lot, and then just a little bit of Matte and Poreless, like I said, just to give me that happy medium. So I'm gonna dot a little bit of this on my face and go in with a Real Technique sponge and blend this out. Look at that line of demarcation. Flawless. Okay, so now it's time to go in with concealers. I'm gonna use a couple of different ones for different purposes. So I'm gonna use a regular concealer to conceal, and I'm also gonna use an illuminating concealer just to brighten that under eye area. So I'm gonna use the L'Oreal Magic Lumi highlighter pen. This is in the shade Light. I really do like this. I can't use this by itself under my eyes to actually conceal my dark circles just because it creases really bad. What I've been doing with this is actually just putting this right below my under eye area, basically on the apples of my cheeks and my cheekbones. You can also put this down the bridge of your nose, your chin, your cupid's bow, your forehead. So I blend that out first, and like I said, I try not to bring it up under my eyes. So now that our skin is bright and radiant, I'm gonna go in with my regular concealer. So I've been using the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Makeup Stick Concealer in the shade Follow Your Bisque. So I'm just gonna put this right under my eyes and blend this with that same sponge. I'm just gonna take whatever's left over on my sponge and put it on my chin, my nose, my cupid's bow, and this is also a really good concealer for blemishes on the rest of your face. So now I'm gonna go in with my cream bronzer and blush, and again I'm using the Wet n Wild Mega Glow makeup sticks because I've been obsessed with these lately. So first I'm gonna go in with a bronzer. I've been using the contour stick in the shade Oaks on You. This is a really nice shade. If you're super pale, you probably won't be able to wear this because it is pretty intense and very warm, and I've been applying it with the Morphe G39 brush. So here's what that looks like. It's just a narrow stippling brush, and this applies cream products so amazingly. I freaking love this brush. So I'm just gonna put this in the hollows, on the temples of my forehead, and then a little bit on my jawline. And then I'm just gonna blend that out. I do apply a heavier amount of this just because when I go in with setting powder, it will take away a little bit of the intensity, so I kind of build it up to prepare for that. So my skin might be looking a little bit more oily right now just because I'm under very bright lights. There's a lot of heat coming from them. I'm freaking burning up right now, so I'm kind of sweating and it's making my skin look super shiny and oily, but I promise on a normal day it looks extremely good. So now for blush, I'm gonna use the blush stick in the shade Peach Bums, which is pretty much a NARS Orgasm shade. I'm just gonna put that right on my cheeks, and I find that this stays on extremely well throughout the day. It just makes your skin look really glowy. It doesn't look cakey or powdery. So I love applying cream blushes with this Real Techniques brush. This is just the sculpting brush. It's a very densely packed angled kabuki brush. So I'm just gonna go in and dab that. But again, I'm gonna build this up a little more intensely to where when I apply setting powder, it will knock down a little bit of that pigmentation, but it will still be pretty visible. I'm just gonna go back into my concealer and just put this under my bronzer area just to kind of clean it up a little bit because I got a little too heavy-handed with the bronzer today. Normally this turns out so good, it's so effortless, but today it's just not a good filming day. If you didn't plan on using a setting powder or any other powder products on top of this, you can go ahead and go in with your cream or liquid highlighter and put that around the cheekbones or wherever you want to highlight. I would do that, except right now I'm looking pretty dewy, so I'm gonna go ahead and go in with a setting powder and set all of this. Again, if you have dry skin, you don't have to do this step, but if you have oily or combination skin, you definitely want to do this. So I've been loving two different powders lately. So for under my eyes and for areas I want to be more matte, I've been obsessed with this Avon powder, but this is the Ideal Flawless Loose loose powder in the shade Translucent. This does have more of like a yellow tint to it, and I just find that it's very, very brightening where it has that yellow undertone, and it just sets my face so beautifully. I've had this for a very long time and never used it until now. I'm kind of thinking this might be a dupe for the Laura Mercier setting powder, so yeah, that could be a dupe better. And then for the rest of my face, I discovered this powder that's more of a glowy powder. Like, it doesn't mattify your skin. This is the new Milani Prep Set and Glow Illuminating Transparent Powder. And you guys won't be able to see, but it just gives your skin a really nice sheen. But I don't find that it makes me oily or anything. I will swatch this on my Instagram, so make sure you stay tuned for that. For setting my under eye area and like the more narrow places on my face, I've been using the Morphe M501 brush. And I've been obsessed with this. It's so small. I'm just gonna get some of that Avon powder on a brush and just dab this right under the eyes. Look how bright that makes it. Sets it so beautifully. This is so underrated. I also use this to set right next to my nose, just because I don't want it to get oily or anything. And obviously you could use the Milani powder for your under eye area too. Also set my chin with this, my cupid's bow, my nose, in between my eyebrows, my forehead wrinkles. And this never looks cakey, so even if you have dry skin, I don't feel like this would be a problem for you. And then I also want to take this a little bit under my bronzer area right here, because I do get pretty oily right here, and this is the first place that my makeup fades, so I just want this to be a little more matte. So now I'm going to go into the Milani powder on a bigger brush and just set the rest of my face with this. And if you don't want to set your entire face, you can just set your more problematic areas, like areas where you have more fading or more shine problems. So this next step is completely optional. Obviously this is a cream foundation tutorial, so you don't have to use any powders. Just because my cheek area is more oily, I like to go in with a powder bronzer and a powder blush just to set the cream products in place. I use a very, very light amount. Like, seriously, it takes me no time. Like, I'm just like bing, bang, boom, and it just sets it and makes it stay longer. So I'm just gonna lightly dust over the bronzer with this Essence Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder for lighter skin. I'm just gonna take that on a big fluffy brush. This is the Morphe M527 brush, and just very lightly go over where I applied that cream bronzer, like very, very little. And then I'm gonna use a very similar toned blush. This is the Milani Baked Powder Blush in the shade Dolce Pink, which is literally a powder form of the Peach Bums blush stick we just used. I'm just gonna take a very small amount of that and pop that right on the cheekbones. But for highlighter, I am going to use a powder highlighter. I'm going to use a Milani Strobe Light Instant Glow powder in the shade Sun Glow 03. I'm just going to take that on a fan brush. This is the Morphe M310 brush. And just put that right on top of the cheekbones. But as you can see, where we already have all that glow underneath, it just looks so intensified. Oh, I love it. Okay, so to finish all that off, we got more, baby. I'm gonna go in with a dewy setting spray. You can totally use your regular setting spray. You don't have to use this, but I've been loving the Milani Make It Dewy setting spray. This actually does make your skin dewy, but I will say this does not improve the wear of my makeup. This just gives me dewy skin. And I have noticed sometimes that it actually does make my skin look more shiny and like breaks my makeup down. So if you have oily skin, just stay away from this. Use your regular setting spray, but we're going all in today. I'm just gonna spray this all over my face. Really get that glow life. Okay guys, so here is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this foundation routine. This is literally the best my skin has looked in so long, and I am so obsessed. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you guys decide to try it out for yourselves. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today. Thumbs up if you like this video, subscribe, follow me on all my social media. All the links are below, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Mwah.